All right. Let's get this going. All right, so this is the dev stream for FromLight VR. Make sure I've got this minimized so we can actually stream relatively smoothly. There we go. All right, so this is our demo level. Basically a simplified dungeon setup. It lets us look at some of our mechanics kind of in environment. Lets us look at some other things like how lighting works out, how it's rendering. Right now we're rendering tethered, so we have a lot more tools, a lot more advantages. We're set to do a build and optimization pass down to the standalone Oculus Quest. So unfortunately I won't be able to move around as much as I'd like to, but we can show what we've got to push here. So this game will be a fantasy exploration game in that we will kind of teleport the player to a place where they're not really familiar with and make them survive and excel. Now, we have physicalized weapons, as you can see. That kind of sticks in there. Weapons bounce off surfaces. So, you have quite a bit of realism in the world. For the purposes of this demo, when we go into combat here shortly, we will engage a slow motion mode, both to show off the kind of the animations and the interactions, as well as make combat easier because full speed combat is pretty difficult, and without the ability to walk around and constrained spaces I'm in, odds are I'll end up punching a wall. So, without further ado, find our two antagonists, Skeleton 1, Skeleton 2, cue up slow motion. Just make sure that we're... Oh, he's got my shield. So they can disarm you, which is a big deal. One of them's already down. Oh, you got me, I got him. Back to slow-mo. So with the animations here, they're very, very challenging to fight. Okay. They will do some of these low shots, some combos. The skeletons, of course, they're not held together by anything but magic. So, you gotta deal with that. The sword. Okay, so saw a little bit of this earlier. I'm gonna turn off slow-mo. I'm going to stash the shield because that's for cool people. Stash shields. So with the environment, this is showing off some lighting. One of the big things I wanted to point out with this was interaction. So for this interaction, we have a sarcophagus lid, which you can grab and you can move, but it's heavy, right? It resists being picked up. So the easy way to do it, slide that puppy off. There we go. Alright, just climb up here. Take the knee, reach down in here, and if I can do this appropriately, without bouncing too much, we grab a more bigger axe. Okay? So with this, and I can display this much better using slow-mo, we have this axe, right? Okay? Wiggle combat doesn't work. If you hit something, the damage has a threshold. If I just do this, there's no damage being done. If I do this, yes, there's damage being done, but you'll find that there's a lot of inaccuracy when you're just using one hand, right? So some large weapons, like this axe, you need 2 hands to wield appropriately. Now, you block and do all that stuff, but of course, it's an axe. It's not a shield, not a sword. And sometimes you just gotta go with the classics. Okay? So we've got this here sword, reflecting all nice. Like what am I doing? I'm gonna put that up there. Grab our shield out. Alright. Ready to rock and roll. Okay, so we've got both skeletal enemies. You saw that guy before. And then we have living enemies. All enemies in this game are physicalized. Okay? So his helmet gives him quite a bit of protection because it's made of steel. You just flip around here. As well as the fact that I can't actually stab into arrows will bounce off. Okay? That said, the rest of his armor is studded cloth. It's has an armor value, but it's not nearly as good. So you can't get a good stab in here. There we go. There's a little bit tricky. Let's see. Drag across. You're not going to shield out, but that's okay. Alright, so with this, physical interactions are important, right? So, you need to be able to do stuff in your world. Or it's just not fun. Okay. Oh, we're stuck. Not really. That back up. Screen going through. So, spear, looks nice. Again, this is probably one of the best ones that explains the two-handed thing. Okay, if I'm holding this right at the very end, yes, I've got a lot of reach, but I've got very little accuracy. It's wibbly wobbly, but add a second hand to it. Now suddenly I'm using this to the extent of what I can use it for. Okay. In addition, because the entire weapon is physicalized, I can hit with this end as well. I mean, it kind of sucks because I'm losing all that beautiful length. And, somebody who is much more intelligent with this type of stuff would tell you that that's giving up your advantage. But, I mean, sometimes it is what it is. Okay, so for here, beautiful thing about VR, you can use your environment. Can I climb? Yes. Something is tagged to allow me to climb, you can climb. You can notice, hey, there's something weird about this wall. Can you look at it? Oh, it's this. Oh, snap. Of course I knew that was there, so we'll turn around just to allow the cord to get out of the way. There's another dude there. Let's have at him before he can really get up. A couple of hits. No big deal. Alright, so more physicalization and to show off the magic system. Okay. Solid wall, climb it, go all the way up here. Then we start looking at what we want to do for the magic system. Now you saw slow motion. And we grab the sword back here so we can kind of. So right now we have drop sword, pull. Slow motion drop. Nice and slow, right? But that's not the limits of the magic system. Every magic spell is created by runes or combinations thereof. And you as a player have to know and memorize those runes. Now, There will be some that you get introduced to early on, but the rest of them you'll have to find in game. We'll talk about how that's going to happen as your player is brought into this foreign world. But to show off one of these runes, which is the rune for force, charge it up, and now all we need to do is a slap. Hey, look at that. You broke the wall. Like a modern day Indiana Jones. Alright, we're going to reach in here. And look at that treasure you bring out. That's a nice sword. Alright, let's go have some fun with it. Now, you never leave the door open, so I'm going to poke you. You're shutting. Oh, before I forget, let's go ahead and put this up. So what we have here, and we have been having some issues with these, so bear in mind that that one did not stick. This puppy, and that one stuck. Okay, no rhyme or reason, they're literally the same object, something we have to dig into. However, that is secondary to the actual functionality of archery, which is nice. Again, physicalized archery. So we roll this far away. Aim a little bit higher to get that on there. So these have the kind of the approximate, what's the word I want to use? The approximate draw strength of a kind of a Norse bow or a weak bow in the 1100s, according to whatever historical documents I've been able to find. Ooh, that one just went askew. So, yeah. In fact, if we're going to have fun, we're going to have fun the right way. Bad guys. Yeah. 2-hit kill. All up. Alright. Let's bring the sword that I'm affectionately going to name Rusty into play. Got a little bit of slow-mo. And so each part of this, so you hit on the shield, it bounces. You can deflect their hits, or parry would be more appropriate. You have to be quick though, because sometimes I like to do low sweeps, some counters. Now, if you hit them, chest, kind of the main area, neck is a weak spot. Okay, for this guy, head really isn't a weak spot, because I caught him right on the arm there. Head really isn't a weak spot because he's got a steel helmet. Whoops. You saw us. Come on, you. A big one for this. Oh, you got me. Yeah. About them apples. Alright. So we already saw the physical objects. Last thing we're going to show off here is how use a character will gain more magic power. Now, here we have, and it is a little bit difficult, rendered out some text. It's obviously not in English, which of course, because if you're a person from our planet being pulled into a fantasy world, you're not going to be able to read anything. However, there's an app for that. or a magic spell. Just for casting it, let it go. And now we go from weird script to English. Well, thanks for coming, checking out this stream. Hopefully we'll do a lot more in the future, and looking forward to continuing to work on this game. All right, have a good one.